5G technology is a breakthrough. It will start the technology revolution, and there will be new opportunities, the likes of which we've never seen before. We will spend the next 25 minutes exploring this together. My name is Johanna Juhl, and I'm responsible for B2B product management at Tele2, where we are currently exploring new applications based on 5G. With me, I also have Björn Lindberg, who is responsible for our 5G rollout. And we are both super excited to be here with you all today. We will start our session by exploring the different technologies behind 5G, which are the things that make 5G revolutionary. This we will do together with Judy in a short movie.
With every new generation of wireless networks, the result is faster speeds and enhanced functionality. So, what does 5G offer customers? 5 emerging technologies lay the groundwork: millimeter waves, small cells, massive MIMO, beamforming, and full duplex. Let's start with millimeter waves. Your devices, such as smartphones and tablets, use very specific frequencies on the radio frequency spectrum, typically under 6 gigahertz. But because carriers can only squeeze so many bits of data on the same amount of radio frequency spectrum, things are getting a wee bit crowded. And with more and more devices coming online all the time, the result is going to be slower service and more dropped connections. So, what is the solution? Establish some new real estate by broadcasting on shorter millimeter waves, those that fall between 30 and 300 gigahertz. This section of spectrum hasn't been used before, but utilizing it will mean more bandwidth for everyone. But not so fast. Millimeter waves don't travel well through buildings and other obstacles, and they tend to be absorbed by plants and rain. This is where small cell networks come into the picture. You've probably seen the huge, high-powered cell towers that wireless networks rely on. They're used to broadcast signals over long distances, but as we've already learned, higher frequency millimeter waves don't have an easy time traveling through obstacles. Small cell networks fix that by employing thousands of low-power mini base stations placed much more closely together than traditional towers. They form a sort of relay team to transmit signals around obstacles. Think of a basketball team passing the ball at high speed around their opponents. This would be especially helpful in cities where there are obstacles everywhere. Just say a user is walking down a city street, and when they turn the corner, they move behind an obstacle. Small cell networks would mean their device switches to a new base station with better range, allowing him or her to keep their connection. On to technology number 3, massive MIMO, or multiple input, multiple output. 4G base stations have roughly a dozen ports for antennas handling all cellular traffic. On the other hand, massive MIMO base stations can support around 100 ports, increasing capacity by a factor of 22 or more. But like with most technology, massive MIMO comes with its own challenges. Cellular antennas broadcast information in every direction at once, and all of those crossing signals run the risk of serious interference. Here's where we get lucky with beamforming. Beamforming is like a traffic signaling system. Instead of broadcasting in every direction, a focused stream of data is sent to a specific user, which prevents interference, increases efficiency, and allows stations to handle more incoming and outgoing data streams at the same time. Here's how it works. Just say you're walking down that city street we were talking about, trying to make a phone call. Your signal is bouncing off buildings and crisscrossing with signals from other users in the area. A massive MIMO base station receives all of these signals and oversees the timing and the direction of their arrival. It then uses signal processing algorithms to triangulate exactly where each signal is coming from and plots the best transmission route back to each phone. Sometimes it will even bounce individual packets of data off of buildings or other objects to keep signals from interfering with one another. The result? Coherent data stream sent only to you. Finally, there's technology number 5, full duplex. If you've ever used a two-way radio, you know that in order to avoid talking over one another, you have to take turns speaking, which can be a tad bit annoying for the more talkative among us. That is the exact challenge today's base stations face. The antenna can either transmit or it can receive, but it can't do both at the same time due to the principle of reciprocity, which is radio waves traveling both forward and backward on the same frequency. Think of it like this. A radio wave is a rush hour subway train loaded up with data. The frequency it is traveling on is the train track. If there is a second train coming from the opposite direction along the same track, well, you're going to crash. Avoiding that crash has previously meant having the data streams put on different frequencies, but you can gain a lot of efficiencies by working around reciprocity. Using silicon transistors creates high-speed switches that halt the backward roll of these waves, sort of like a signaling system that reroutes trains or puts them on a sidetrack so another train can pass. Doing this means a lot more gets done on each track, a whole lot faster. There's still a lot to be done in working out the kinks with all of these technologies, and let's be honest, all of 5G remains a work in progress because we've only just started our incredible 5G journey. But the good news is that technology is moving quickly, and ultra-fast 5G service has already arrived in some areas of Sweden and will cover the entire country within the next few years. So get ready to download that film in the blink of an eye, or maybe perform brain surgery in Stockholm on a patient in New York. Welcome to the wonderful world of 5G.
So what does this mean? What benefits will we see? Well, the fifth generation mobile network will not just improve how we connect with each other, it will bring benefits to how we interconnect and control machines, objects, and devices while delivering higher speeds, lower latency, and better security. It's been designed to meet the high growth in data and connectivity of today, but while also keeping a firm eye on tomorrow's innovations. 5G is more robust and reliable. The sheer number of devices that we'll be able to connect has the potential to revolutionize everything from modern industrial practices and campus networks to industries such as agriculture and manufacturing. The 5G network will be able to handle a lot more devices than earlier networks. Billions of IoT-connected devices will be able to instantaneously and simultaneously connect. To put it in another way, if you have one radio cell covering a particular area today, you would, if you had, for example, 300 mobile phones in use in this area, you would hit capacity. This meant that the cell was occupied and no more phones could connect. With 5G, you could add 30,000 devices to the cell and it still won't be at capacity. This means that 5G can better handle the high loads seen in cities today. And on the other hand, the new lower frequencies will allow for more robust and reliable connections in the rural areas. In terms of how it works, 5G is consistently a much more reliable technology than earlier generations. This is important when it comes to outages or when parts of the network needs to be updated. The 5G architecture is much simpler, while at the same time it is built on more robust foundations and standards. This means that there should be less incidents and a lot less downtime, which is great news for IoT, and in particularly mission-critical solutions. 5G also means faster speeds. With 5G, we'll see speeds of 1 gigabit per second up to 10 gigabits per second. This means that 5G will on average be 10 times faster than 4G. To put that into perspective, today most homes with a fiber connection have speeds of around 100 megabits per second. Another way of looking at it, you will be able to stream 400 films simultaneously on super high resolution TV without ever missing a beat. When it comes to IoT, this will make a massive difference for applications such as CCTV, especially if you have maybe 6 or 7 cameras covering an area in, for example, a factory. If you have a 5G station, the capacity is so big that you will be able to stream an enormous amount of open video without reaching any kind of capacity ceiling. When you combine that kind of speed with the lower power requirements, you start to see why 5G will be ideal for IoT. 5G also means lower latency. Lower latency means near real-time communications. which can be a big boost when it comes to real-time control of devices, autonomous vehicles, industrial robotics, and security systems. 4G latency is actually quite quick. It's around 30 to 40 milliseconds. But with 5G, that number is reduced to 1 to 2 milliseconds, which again makes 5G ideal for our IoT. Think of a mine where you need to cut a rock. Previously, you would need to be on site to do that, but with the low latency that comes with 5G, you can do this remotely. This will be a game changer when it comes to real-time control of devices, industrial robotics, vehicle-to-vehicle communications, and security systems. 5G also means increased security. There are more and improved security standards with 5G with more security checks, which means that your data will be a lot safer. 5G will also enable better and faster tools for authentication and encryption of traffic and connected devices. Faster speeds also make it possible to share and install new software and security updates much more quickly than today. This enables intelligent, real-time IoT security services. Faster speeds, faster response times, and much more connected devices also makes system monitoring more efficient, actions taken much faster. 5G also gives the ability to prioritize safety-related traffic in the network much more efficiently than done today. And there are more secure technologies for traffic in networks to and from other countries. IoT devices intended for industrial and other machine-to-machine applications are, unlike many consumer devices, better designed, better secured, and in many cases connect to specific network slices or through IoT gateways. And this will drastically reduce the potential for security breaches. 5G also means more sustainable connection. If we compare 5G to 4G from a sustainability perspective, and specifically energy consumption to transfer data, 5G is substantially more efficient. 5G consumes around 45% of what 4G consumes. Let's dive into some applications. 5G has the potential to enable fundamentally new applications and industry. One apparent use case is fiber-like mobile services. The dreaded buffering, memory of the past, and videos should be near instantaneously and glitch-free. And with 5G, gaming won't be tied down to devices with high computing power. Processing, storage, and retrieval can be done in the cloud, while the game itself is displayed and controlled by a mobile device. 5G will also drive major innovation in virtual reality applications, which depend on fast feedback and response time to provide a realistic experience. These applications are likely to explode in number and sophistication as 5G networks and devices become the new normal. And with the move to cloud-native 5G networks, enterprises can take advantage of strategically distributed computational power, allowing more data to be processed and stored at the right place based on the needs of the application. Intelligent edge computing operates at the convergence of 5G's ultra-low latency, IoT, and AI. Devices and applications can tap into edge cloud computing resources without needing to access a centralized data center, potentially thousands of miles away. And I have mentioned the potential game changer that 5G will be to IoT. When the term Internet of Things was coined in 1999, it was largely conceptual. 2 decades later, everything from home thermostats to smart city sensors depend on IoT technology. And now with 5G, IoT stand ready to enable applications that would have seemed impossible just a few years ago. The promise of low latency and high network capacity helps to eliminate the biggest limitations to IoT expansion, giving devices near real-time ability to sense and respond. So what does this mean for the industry? Well, the use cases are many, so let's dive into a few. Our first example here is healthcare. With 5G, healthcare applications can enable doctors and patients to stay more connected than ever. Wearable devices could, for example, alert healthcare providers when a patient is experiencing symptoms. 5G also has the potential to enable remote surgery and other remote care procedures and treatments. And suddenly, healthcare becomes transformed and more available to everyone. And in manufacturing, the potential benefits are many. Beyond predictive maintenance that helps control cost and minimize downtimes, factories can use applications leveraging 5G to control and analyze industrial processes with an unprecedented degree of precision. It is a fact, factory floors will be totally transformed by the convergence of 5G, AI, and IoT. And in logistics, 5G offers the potential for greater communication among vehicles, as well as between vehicles and the infrastructure itself. And in addition, 5G applications hold the potential of tracking and monitoring of inventory, which today is expensive and difficult. 5G will also play a key role in accelerating the construction industry towards autonomous and remote operations. In other words, completing projects completely by machine alone, without the need of having people on site. Even though remote control technology exists today, the ultra-low latency that 5G enables eliminates any delay in connectivity and ensure that work is completed with adequate speed and precision. Other possible applications within construction includes real-time design displays, allowing staff on site to make changes to digital blueprints in real time on tablets. And this is just the beginning. We are today exploring possible use cases with customers and partners. So let's dive into a few pilot projects. When it comes to smart construction, we are participating in a project together with Skanska, Cisco, and TPO to test the future of construction sites. The site will be connected with 5G and Wi-Fi 6 to enable an open roaming environment to enable users to test different applications. In the first step, tablets and tools will be connected, but the ambition is to also use drones, AR, and 5G sensors to streamline the construction process. The goal of the project is for the parties to learn which technology is most optimal for the different locations and situations. And when it comes to smart manufacturing, many larger enterprises are looking for the possibility to actually build their own private 5G network. And Tele2 has many interesting projects ongoing. In one, we're working together with Ericsson Industry Connect to connect the production facility for one of our largest industry customers. The project is in an early stage, but we will explore a couple of different use cases. For example, how 5G can be used to reduce injuries and increase safety by tracking people and dangerous materials, and how we can reduce the CO2 footprint by measuring the energy consumptions of machines. And when it comes to autonomous vehicles, 5G will be crucial. It will be crucial for autonomous vehicles to communicate with each other and read live map and traffic data. Imagine swarms of drones cooperating and carry out search and rescue missions or traffic monitoring, all communicating wirelessly with each other and ground-based stations over 5G networks. And when it comes to autonomous vehicles, we are working closely with our customer Swedavia with autonomous snowplows. They will be the first airport in the world to be able to have self-driving plow trucks for the runways at Arlanda and Bromma. We're currently in the planning and testing phase of this project. Also, soon we will announce a project with self-driving droids for delivery. We are super excited about this project, but we will have to get back to you with more details on this. Before we end our session, let's hear the latest about our 5G rollout and when we will be able to see all of these applications and benefits. Over to you, Björn.
Thank you very much, Joanna. Yes, we're in the startup, of course, with the rollout. We have plenty of work ahead of us, but we have done a lot of work so far also, because a lot of the rollout is not only building the site, swapping the site and so on. It's more about handling the agreements with the landlord, the house owner, or the property owner where we have the base station. We need to make sure that we have all the agreements ready to be able to build the sites in time. So that has been ongoing for quite some time now, during the last 1-2 years. That has been the plan. And now, during last year, we actually launched 5G as the first operator in Sweden, in Stockholm, Gothenburg, and Malmö, and adding more sites on air day by day, of course, but have now approximately over 40 cities where we have 5G coverage, and that will, of course, expand. But the big thing here with rollout of 5G is actually that we will use the existing 4G network, and the drive for us as a company now when it comes to Tele2 is actually to expand the 4G network with capacity. So we do a modernization in the 4G network using that. Net4Mobility, who is owner of the network that we run together with Tele2, there is where we actually update the network and increase the capacity with between 50 and 200%, and also enabling 5G to these sites. And at the same time, we're closing down our 3G network that we run together with Telia, and Telenor and Tre are doing the same with their joint venture 3G network. And sites from both those two 3G network will be added into this new 5G network. So we're adding a couple of thousand sites there from these two networks to have the best 5G network going on further here together. So it's a lot of building out there right now, and we are just in the start of it. Hopefully we will be ready at the end of 2023. The plan is then that the 5G network will cover 90% of the Swedish area and 99.9% of the population. So that's the plan on going forward. Back to you, Johanna.
Thank you, Björn. So we've come a way, but we still have a far way to come when it comes to specifically the applications based on 5G. 5G is a breakthrough, but the applications are still to be written in the future. But whatever the future holds, you can bet on one thing, and that is that 5G will do a lot more than to give you a faster phone connection. It could change your life. Thank you very much for joining, and please join us in the breakout room for more discussions.